Hi guys. Today I am drinking
a pig.
It's got a little pig on the label for those that can't see. It's called Noble Fellows. It's a rosé because it's still really hot in Australia. We're in the middle of a bit of a heat wave-ish.
Heat wave.
Ish. Well, it's like over 30 degrees each day here.
That's not a heat wave. We've got to get 40s.
I guess 40s, yeah. 40s or 40s. Okay, but still, it's hot.
It's just we didn't get a summer for the last 3 years.
So it feels
COVID.
COVID didn't kill the heat. No, it's been warm, but I like it. I'm happy.
You like it?
Oh, I love it. It's gonna be really hot. It's gonna be 37 on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm going to my daughter's place.
Yeah, because she's got a pool.
Can
you go to a swim up bar?
I'm just going to take 3 bottles.
Yeah, you're going to create a
and sit on the edge. Bar. I'll make my own swim up bar.
Nice. Well, actually, happy birthday to me.
It's not your birthday. Oh, it officially is.
It is. Well, people
officially is.
So if you're listening to this after the 13th of January,
hit 40. She's lived this long.
It is my 30th birthday today. While you guys are listening to this, if you were listening to this after the 13th of January, you don't have to wish me a happy birthday. It's okay. I feel like that happens every time we say it's my birthday.
Now I'm going to have a million messages to say thank you to. No, you can thank the people.
Them all. That's fine. But yeah, happy birthday to me. Ooh, Friday the 13th. Spooky.
Well, my niece is very pregnant. I think her due date was today or tomorrow. And so everyone's put bets on when she's going to have it.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I want to put a bet on how many stitches.
Oh, my God.
Well, she wants to go as natural as she can. So up there they have a thing called the birthing hospital, which is next door to the main hospital. And it's more like being at home. So they just have bathtubs and crap like that.
That's kind of cool.
So she's only tiny though. She's like, you haven't met her sister. So she's very skinny, very tiny. She's not. She's
brave.
A vet nurse, so she knows all of that stuff.
That's very brave.
So, yeah, I just said, I'll bet on how many stitches.
Good luck. I'm going to be the opposite if I have children. Give me
we know. Yeah, give me everything. And a bottle of wine.
And a bottle, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, as soon as you cut that umbilical cord. Are you going to breastfeed?
I paid good money for these.
Yeah, but they're still going to fill with milk.
I don't know. I haven't decided.
You haven't decided?
I don't even know if I want kids or not. I haven't decided that. I've got to make a decision soon, though. I'm 30. Like, the clock's ticking.
You can freeze your eggs.
Then you've got to pay, I looked into that. You've got to pay a lot of money to store them each month.
Well, you can have them put into your mum and she could carry for you.
No, my mum's old. She's an old lady.
Old lady.
She likes her vodka.
She's only my age.
She's a bit older than you. She likes her vodka too much as well. Bless her.
Well, find somebody who's under drinking age and they won't care about not drinking and they can carry your eggs for you.
Oh my goodness.
What about the budgies at home? I'm certain that they could look up.
Budgies. Keep them popping out eggs.
Yeah, so the last budgie didn't get out. In the meantime, that randy little thing has jumped back in, sitting on eggs again.
How many have you got now?
There's 9.
Started off with 2 budgies.
Shree never wants to give any. Shree doesn't. It's a biggish cage, but I reckon once we get to 40, it's going to be too soon.
There's so many budgies in there. It's so funny.
I just told Shree, this is the last lot, and we're selling these ones because 9 budgies is enough.
It's enough.
It's very noisy in the mornings.
We were going to do the podcast at Peter's today, and then Peter said, well, there's 9 budgies. It's a bit noisy. So we're here where there's no... Well, there was an air conditioner on, but we had to turn it off. That's all right.
That's all right.
It's
already heating up.
Yeah. Like your favourite, because you just got back from Cairns.
Oh.
So Peter, who loves humidity, has gone from Bali, then home for a few days, and up to Cairns for a few weeks.
And on top of that, clean out, Mum and Dad moved up there in 1992. So it's all the crap as well as all the stuff they brought when they moved up there. So we had to clean all of that stuff out. And if Dad sold the stuff 20 years ago, he would have got a fortune for some of his tooling stuff.
But now it was
like
out of date.
$1 a box. They had a wall of nuts and bolts all in their jars with all the things on. They were all full, but it was all Imperial stuff. So we actually should have shipped it to America. They would have loved it.
True. And you got your little photography book?
Oh yes, I've got a photography book.
I'm blocking it.
You're blocking it?
It's there.
I could shoot back and grab it. So this is our feature book for the week. Beginner's Guide to Colour Photography. I found this in Dad's cupboard, and it's written by Colin Day, and it was first published in 1963. So they must have seen me coming and thought, he's going to need to know how to do colour. And the good thing about it, there's hardly any pictures in it. It's all writing.
Yeah.
And it smells like dead people.
Oh my God. It does smell like old.
It is. I'm actually going to have a read through. I'm looking forward to Beginner's Guide to Photography,
How are you going to read
Guide
it?
to
There's
Miniature Camera.
I wonder if there's an ebook for it because you don't like reading.
I think I can photograph the page, and I think there's an app that'll read it for me.
That's cool. At
least it's not in script, because I could read a rangefinder in there. Anyway, so that's our book review for the day. And it's got 49 cents Australian written there, and on the front it says 39 cents, so it's discounted.
Absolute bargain.
So it's an absolute bargain, yes. Recommend it to anybody who wants to learn colour photography. And like I said, there's even a guide to cinema photography.
Is there any black and white? No.
No.
No black and white.
No black and white at all. But anyway, that was one of the novel. I found a lot of family stuff, which I found Dad's old fishing jumper, which is going to become a series.
That's going to be cute.
And Mum had a wife beater.
Nice.
I showed you that little wife beater, which was a really cool one. That could be another series.
That's cool. Peter's parents' clothes.
And I did find a lot of weird stuff that I want to read. My grandfather was a Mason. Well, I think Dad was for a while too. Freemason. And there's all the books and that. And all these little badges and stuff. And there was a coin collection. And she had a penny. We looked up.
Yeah.
There's a penny in 1930. What was it worth? 70,000 or something?
Well, yeah, I think 70,000.
70,000, and Mum had a penny in 1931. I thought that'd be right. And then we found another one that was 1930, but it had a different picture on it. So
I looked it up, and it was worth $5.
Oh, $5.
Yeah, $5 whole. You can retire
now. If we got an engraver, could we change the picture? Would anyone know?
Yes.
Oh.
I think they would.
You think they would?
I think they would, yeah.
So if I did that, I could afford to pay for somebody a better assistant.
Oh, yeah.
Ha-ha.
Hilarious. There's no
all the people that was on your side about keeping you on.
Yeah.
I thought I'd send you to them for a week and see if they still think the same thing.
Surely they would. I'm great.
You're great.
I'm great. With Capricorn season, of course, I'm great. I'm in the element.
Elements.
In the element. What else did you find? Anything else notable? Or?
Lots of old photos, which I really enjoyed going through. As photos I vaguely remember. And there's some pretty funny photos of my two kids, which they're going to get haunted with over the next couple of weeks. And some photos of great-great-grandparents and things like that. I found the map of Melbourne City, and they didn't do maps looking down. What? Well, the planes hadn't been invented. Nobody knew how to look down on the Earth. All the maps were drawn like looking in across. So it was street, then street, then street, then street. And I found...
do you have scissors for that tape, by the way?
Yeah.
Because my tape is sweaty in here and my tape's not sticking to me. Or can you just tear it?
I'll just tear it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
So Beck's sound's about to go absolutely
Sorry, I thought it was going to stick, but...
So if she doesn't talk while she makes a mess of this...
Hopefully that sticks better now.
All right.
I hope so.
Hope so.
So
before you rurily interrupted
they did maps that weren't down. They were looking.
And on the map I saw, and this is back in the 18s, can't remember what year, it had Overton Bakery. That was Mum's great-grandfather.
Oh.
So he was one of the first settlers in Melbourne. It was the first baker in Melbourne, I think, or something like that.
In Melbourne town.
So that might be why I can make good pizza dough. It's runs in the blood.
That's pretty cool. I love going through old stuff like that.
Oh, well, there's some really cool stuff. I've found like birth certificates. I found some of my early happy birthday cards to Mum and Dad, where I've wished them happy birthday and things like that. I also found Dad's schoolwork.
Oh, wow.
And his script writing is humble. Every letter is exactly the same height, perfect. I couldn't read a word of it, but And, you know, his school assignments, and his, he was a electrical draftsman he started off as, and he's all his hand drawings of all the layouts of stuff. It was actually really, I spent too much time looking at shit.
That happened to me. We did a deep clean of my house. We haven't, but then I've got to do the next. So now that everything's like we like fully clean, like washed took the curtains off and washed them, like fully deep cleaned my house. Now the next stage is to go through all of the drawers and throw out crap that we don't need.
Aren't you going to deep clean the cats first?
I need to get a brush for my cat, yeah.
But what about deep clean Jared?
No, I just need to brush my cat. Next stage is to go through the drawers and chuck out crap we don't need. But I started to go through one of my drawers of crap, and I just got so excited. I was like, oh, wow, look at that. Oh, wow.
It's so easy to get sidetracked.
And Jared's sitting there. He's like, this is not how I pictured cleaning going down. Because I'm just sitting there reading all my old cards. And I found like a little jewelry box. I'm like, oh, what's in here? Look, what's in here? And he's like, there's not much getting thrown out. And I was like, no, this is fun. I found so many old things. I found this old photo that a girl I used to be friends with gave me, a photo of us in a frame. And I can't remember why I undid it, and it sparked this memory. And I remember the first time I undid the photo frame, she'd written on the back of the photo, she's like, "Dear Bec, if you're reading this, I assume you've gone to take the photo out because we're no longer friends, and I just want you to know that if it was my fault, I'm sorry," or something. And I was like, that is like next level thinking. Like, who does that? Like, give someone a photo and write something.
Any money. It's that movie the other time was Predestination, not Prequel.
Not Prequel.
It's like that. She's travelled forward in time, written in it.
Crazy.
Because you were such a nasty person and broke up with her.
No, that's a whole story I don't want to go into. But
Oh,
we
yeah,
actually aren't actually friends anymore. Wasn't my fault though. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was like a crazy next level to actually do, like, write something like that. And then I was telling Casey, one of my best mates, and she's like, you did that to me once. And I was like, oh, I know where I got the idea from. Next level. But anyway.
One thing did stand out, though, the further I went back in the history of the photos, like the deeper I found stuff, the less photos of each person there was, which made those photos so much more important.
Okay, like, yeah.
So there was areas, like there's stuff when Dad was doing a bit of travelling, and it was really funny. The amount of funny things I found Dad I didn't even know. He had to go to Japan back in about 64, 65 for the company he was working for as a rep. They were building the air conditioner system for the first radar for Essendon Airport. Oh. So it was pretty, like it was nearly space science and stuff, nearly. No. And they've got him in a karaoke bar. My daddy's a person who would never sing. And he's got holding a mic doing karaoke. I think Dad might have been of them.
Really?
The amount of pictures I found him wearing dresses.
Right on.
He was on the Oriana, the big boat. Mm. He was Queen of the Oriana. He was voted Queen of the Oriana. And there's a picture with his thing on in a Queen outfit.
Love that for him.
They called him the Hairy Fairy on some other thing.
I love this for him.
It was pretty cool looking at all
cute.
these pictures. And his best mate, who was a full-on army, he was wearing dresses too, so I wonder what they were up to anyway.
Isn't there that thing about in the Navy?
I don't think they're in the Navy.
Oh, okay.
No, they're both in the Army, I think. They both did a bit of Army time.
Oh, interesting.
But I think it was because it was back around the end of World War. It was just coming up. I don't think Dad was... I think Dad would have been the next wave or two waves after for subscription for the war.
Me and Jared were talking about that the other day for some reason about, like, I think there was something, we were watching something and there was people fighting and I was like, man, like, I don't understand people putting their hand up. Like, I just couldn't imagine anything worse. And Jared's like, I, for one, am quite happy that people put their hand up. Otherwise, I would have to be forced to do that. And we have a joke about one of my cats who, like, sits there and stares out the window because he's not allowed out the front. And every time I see him, I'm like, oh, look, Gandalf is waiting for his husband to return from war.
That's horrible.
I know, it's a really bad joke. But yeah, that's what he looks like because he just looks out the window and he looks so depressed, trapped in the house. He just looks like he's waiting for something and he's just like, little Jan.
There was, I have got no idea what the movie was, but it was a really good, deep, moving war movie, and it was basically two privates both with a gun pointed at each other. Both of them didn't want to die, and both of them didn't want to kill the person opposite. So they both dropped their guns and turned around and walked away. Just
my hat goes off to people who do it.
We shouldn't be putting people in that situation.
No,
we should be able to fix it with beer pong or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Most things can be solved over beer pong. I fully support solving things over beer pong rather than making people go through that. It's just, my hat goes off to people who do it though. Well, anyways, enough about that topic because it's like.
Yeah, why'd you bring it up?
I don't know. Why do I bring up
23 is supposed to be a great year and you're already dragging us down.
I know, sorry guys. All right, back to... I don't know.
And now so I was going to go to the world of silence.
The world of silence.
Your brain's empty now.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I was talking about bad stuff and now I'm like, let's think about good stuff.
Well, nobody's heard of your New Year's Eve experiences at the
Doof. At the Doof. It was hot and it was fun and had fun.
You destroyed your tent.
No, the wind destroyed my tent. I woke up on the day we were leaving to absolute horrendous winds. Like, it was just so crazy. I thought my tent was going to blow over, even though, like, it never has, and it's housed many people during storms. Anyway, I was like, ooh, what's going on? And I stuck my head out, and our whole marquee had, like, been blown over. And then I was like, just little me is trying to like fix this 3x3 metre marquee. There were two girls sitting in the communal area and they're like, they could see me and they're like, oh, do you need some help? Yes, I need some help. And then
let me finish. It'd be like you. When I finish my wine, I'll come over. I can't let the wind blow my wine over. Where was Red?
He was asleep, so I had to wake him up. Well, I felt bad, but I woke him up and it wasn't really a fun one. It was, all right, wake up, the marquee's blown over and it's crashing into someone else's campsite. So
did Jared just go,
a little bit, no. He was he got up and he actually is rather smart and he was like, we need to take the cover, like the shade thing on the top of it. He's like, we need to take that off because it's creating like a sail at the moment, so we're not going to be able to get it over. And I was like, that makes sense. So then in between trying to take that off, the wind ripped it. So I need to get a new cover, like shade cover for it, which is nearly as expensive as just buying a brand new marquee. So that sucks.
You didn't do it on purpose, or you got a brand new marquee?
No, because the marquee's fine. Oh. But I think it's like $150 for the cover, whereas like a new marquee is like $230 or something.
So when's your next Doof?
February.
You better get onto it.
I know. And then I need to drop my tent in to get fixed because as we were packing the tent down or taking stuff out as well, at the flap to the door open and the wind has like blown one of like where the zipper connects to the base. It's just ripped the stitching and it's ripped the zipper off that. So it's an easy fix. And I know there's a canvas place down the road here. They've fixed my tent before. So this just needs to be like heavy duty stitched. So I better do that soon. So that kind of sucked and it wasn't really like the way I planned my last day. I expected to have a nice little sleep, wake up, have my healthy breakfast, have a can of energy drink and a Hydrolyte. And
So isn't New Year's Eve your favourite day of the year?
Yeah.
Was it your favourite day from the year?
You know what? I did have fun.
But was it your favourite day from the year? You're not answering the question. Stop avoiding it. You paid $250 to see mates do some DJing, and then people and then listen to music you hate.
Yeah, but I had fun with my mates, and like, I don't know, like once I couldn't find my mates for a while, but once we found them, like I think the thing that was missing.
They were on their favourite day, and you weren't there.
No, like because like I wanted to just kind of like one of my favourite things to do, is like in the afternoon. Like when it starts to, when it's like, you know, that hottest point of the day, like right before it cools down, like I don't want to go to the stages. It's too hot to dance. I just want to sit at the campsite, just have a few drinks and just talk shit. Like just have some like classic
So
banter.
that's a normal afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I just love doing. And that's all I wanted to do. And I couldn't, and people were at the stages and I was like, it's too hot and the sprinklers are like, I'm sick of being wet. Like I was wet from sweating. So then I'd go to the sprinklers to cool down and then I was just wet. I just wanted to be dry.
Well, that's what I was like in Cairns. The humidity was ridiculous. I was like, I had a shower and I was wetter when I got out, wetter before I got in the shower and wetter when I dried myself off than I was when in the shower.
Just wet. I was like, I can't wait to be dry. But no, we eventually all sat down and just had some bevies and talked shit, and that was good fun.
You still didn't answer the question. So was it your favourite day of the year?
Probably not.
Right.
Probably not, but I did have fun. So.
Well, I think as you get older, it becomes less and less.
Well, I was talking about this with my mates because I mentioned how it's my favourite day, and I was like, look, Christmas, I've always got to do family stuff, so it's always kind of like complicated because it's family stuff, and I feel like family stuff gets stressful. And then birthdays are stressful because like I just find my
No, you make it stressful.
I find my birthday really stressful. Whereas New Year's, it's like it's just everyone's day to party. That's why it's my favourite because there's no stress. It's just like woo party. That's why New Year's is my favourite.
But it wasn't this year.
It was still good.
So compared to seeing Dead Mouse,
That was really good.
New Year's Eve or Dead Mouse?
I don't know. I don't like just decision making, like picking.
Cut off your hand or your foot.
I started watching the Saw movies again. We haven't spoken about movies yet. I started watching Saw.
Why do you keep wanting to re-watch movies and not watch amazing movies
Because
you've never seen?
I haven't watched Saw in years, and they used to be my favourites, and I forgot like things that happen.
So you've already get it going Alzheimer's, are you?
But I just forgot. I've watched so many other things. So that started because we finished Alice in Borderland. Oh no, we were watching Alice in Borderland, and I think because of the games in that, I was like,
You wanted to go back to
watch
the dark
Saw.
side.
Yeah, but it turns out I'm a little bitch now that I'm old. I can't handle gore like I used to.
No, I think that as you get older, no, it's not so much. I can't handle torture. I can't watch people anymore getting purposely tortured or hurt.
I used to live for it. Like there was what sort
Yeah, when I was young, it didn't bother me at all. But I'm saying now, if someone's, yeah.
They were like but it wasn't even torture. It was in Saw 3, and they were drilling into the dude's head, but like to relieve the pressure. And I had to leave the room. I was like, gross. I didn't leave the room when the chick got her ribcage ripped out though. I used to have that.
That feels fake.
I had that I had the GIF of that on my MySpace page back when I was a teenager.
Oh, so you're desensitised to people having their ribs ripped out.
No, I was just an edgelord. I was so edgy. No one was edgier than me. Like when I used to pretend I listened to Job for a Cowboy because they were like hectic, like guttural, like pig squealy stuff. And I was like, that's so hardcore. I was like, yeah, I listen to them. They're on my iPod. I don't think I ever listened to them. I just told people I did. So they thought I was cool.
Oh my God. Just like someone who wears band t-shirts and doesn't like the band. The t-shirt's cool. It makes her look like she's cool because, I like Pearl Jam and I like all these bands I don't even listen to.
No, Motorhead. My cool Motorhead top.
I know, but if you saw a cool Pearl Jam, you'd buy that too, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I actually do listen to Slipknot though. I was wearing my Slipknot top yesterday.
Yeah, but Slipknot's a little bit more your era.
I'm so spewing about Knotfest.
Well, that's your fault. You're the PA.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to everyone that doesn't know.
Nobody knows.
So
Anybody
booked,
want a new PP?
I booked, there's this festival, just like a one-day festival coming up in March in Australia called Knotfest. And there's Slipknot, Parkway Drive, Spirit Box. Who else was like North Lane? I think those are the 4 I was keen to see. I bought these tickets months ago and then went and scheduled our Sydney workshops on the same day as this festival that I have tickets to go see. And Slipknot won't be playing again for a while because they're going on hiatus. So, good one, Bec. Idiot.
That's right. You're too old for them now.
No,
oh no, they're too old. They're too old too. Yeah, see, I don't. As much as I love them, I don't think I could watch them because they'd just be too old.
No, they're not. They're excellent.
Yeah, they'd be too old. They'll be going. Oh, you're so much better than the last time I saw you.
No. Anyway, so I'm sad about that. Feeling emo.
Feeling
emo about it.
Anyway, well, maybe you should do your job and put those dates, dates in
because
the diary.
I thought maybe the diary is for work-related stuff, but now I realise I need to start putting personal stuff in the diary, like things like that.
Well, wouldn't you have day off?
Yeah, I should have done that. Which I normally would have because I would have needed that day off, so I should have put day off in there. But
it's all right. Same happened to me with the
F1.
F1, yes. You were there when we booked the tickets.
Yes, I was, and then the next day we
set the workshops to be that day.
And the F1 wasn't in the diary, and then we set Brisbane for that day. So that's
Brisbane and the other Sydney. So
yes, we're both missing out, unless I come up a day later.
But I told you, I can handle. You've only been working with.
I'll feel so guilty though.
Well, that's worth it.
Like,
for me.
I feel so
That's
guilty.
so worth it for me. The guilt I can do for 3 to 4 months is freaking awesome.
Like, well, yeah, but I was working while you were at Slipknot. Like, you would give me the guilt. So, but Jared's like, well, why don't you go to the Sydney one? And I was like, because, like, well, I'm going to go alone. And I was like, oh, no, wait, Peter likes Slipknot. But then we have workshops that day as well, so.
Can we do the workshop at the concert? Let's teach them how to do band photography in a mosh pit.
That'd be funny. That'd actually be kind of a cool workshop.
Oh, and certain what we're going to put everybody with headphones on, and I have a microphone and talk to them like those tours where they have the translation headphones on. You idiot.
We'll go with a little flag.
Flag, yeah.
I actually kind of like that. That's cute. Someone actually had a good idea for the workshops that, like, we should have a segment where, like, I talk to people and, like, they ask.
That sounds great. I actually get to have lunch there.
And people can ask me questions and stuff. And I mean, I don't know how useful my information would be, but no, I can be kind of useful sometimes.
Well, you just did your first rant on
I just did my first rant on
Inspire.
Inspire, and everyone really liked that. I just gave everyone, like, a little bit of my knowledge of what I know about, like, from being an assistant and stuff, and, like, questions, because I always get asked questions on workshops about, like, how did we find this studio, and, like, how did you find this, and how did you find that? So
most of the time it's you tripped over it.
and I guess
What was next to a bottle shop? Or they sold vapes.
I guess people are asking that because not everyone has a PA like me, so they're mostly finding that.
Everyone's saying thank God for that.
They've got to find that themselves, so they want to know what I'm doing to find that stuff so they can do it themselves. So I told people what I do, and then I spoke about me being a module.
A module.
Not that I've been modelling much. I haven't done a shoot aside from you, like with you, in ages.
Oh, you can talk.
Oh yeah, you didn't shoot for a while because you were moving your mum.
And I didn't shoot leading up to that. I had one shoot, I think, the week before that.
We were going to shoot in Bali, but then
But
I was sick.
wine was too nice for you.
No, then I was sick, remember? I got the cramps. We went to
right.
do the night shoot that day, and then I was like, ugh, I maybe should have used bottled water to brush my teeth.
Oh, we were talking about that the day before, weren't we?
I don't know what caused my cramps. It wasn't nice. But then Jared got, maybe I don't know. I think I just had some kind of weird little bug because Jared got sick when we got home. Anyway.
But at least my first shoot for this year was my stuff, my crazy edgy
Yes,
stuff.
which
is a good start. I can't talk while you're
sorry.
all that noise. Except I can't easily edit that out because it's going into stereo. I can find a way, but
Sorry.
I'll just might start again. Just think, well, then now I've got to listen to it to find your playing with your microphone bits.
Now you can find it.
Now I can find it.
So you did your first shoot for the year yesterday?
Yes, with Bloom.
Yes.
And we did Broken Fairy Vampire Golem.
Sexy golem.
Sexy Golem. It was pretty close. But and it's while I was not that I had plans to do lots. Like on the plane, I edited heaps of video on the plane. But once I got up into Cairns, the humidity was killing me, and just waking up at 5 o'clock every morning.
Why were you getting up so early?
You're not allowed to sleep in Cairns after 5.
Oh, it's too hot.
The animals come alive.
Oh.
Like at my sister's place, she has ducks and chooks, and they just start. I think they mate together or do something, and they make.
It's kind of like it'd do
and...
if the animals come alive.
And the humidity and the heat. And first night at Mum's house, I've decided to lock. She only has 2 air conditioners in the whole house. And one's in her bedroom, one's in the spare bedroom. And the one in her bedroom hasn't ever been started. So I put the one in the spare bedroom on, shut all the doors, shut all the windows, because she has every window in the house open always. And then Mum went to bed and I was doing a little bit of workout. So I couldn't take this anymore. I just got sweat dripping off me. So I thought, I'll just go into my room and just do some editing in there.
Much like
I walk in, it was nice and cold. And all of a sudden, Mum goes, I think the people next door have got some machine running. It turns out it's my air conditioner and she can't sleep if it's on. All right, turn it off. Within 3 minutes, the room felt like this.
Oh. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. While I quickly remembered. Remember the last time your mum came down, it was in summer, and it was a really hot day. We're working from yours because it's cooler up there. We had the AC on. She's sitting on the couch with a blanket on because she was cold from the AC. We were like, go outside. It's like 33 degrees out there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, although everyone up there sort of, like, even my sister she hates the cold now. She lives up there. And she was agreeing with me. She was having 3 showers a day. You just feel like...
Wet.
Yeah, but dirty wet.
Yeah.
It feels like after workout.
Yeah.
So you just want to jump. And I only ever had a cold shower the whole time I was up there. Just nothing but cold, because even then the water doesn't come out freezing cold. And then next minute she goes, oh, but it's lovely. I said...
That's like me. I'm like, it's so hot, but I love it.
And then a little bit of rain came down, and I looked in the gauge, and it was like 50 inches or something. It just rained solid all night.
Oh God.
My mum talks about, I can't sleep if it's noisy neighbours.
And it's raining all night.
The crickets, the green tree frogs, which they sound like dogs, they bark.
Oh God.
And you get 2 together, they start doing mating calls and barking, and then they get in the drain pipe, so it echoes through the gutters and drain pipes.
And tropical cockroaches?
Tropical cockroaches, they're sort of, I'm exaggerating when I said they're a foot long, but they're about a foot long.
I was reading a thing yesterday. I was having a good little giggle. It was someone asked Australians, like, what's something in your country that's actually, like, that you find actually scary? Because, like, everyone from overseas is like, oh, spiders and snakes. It's like, no, like, what's something that's like, and someone said, like, tropical cockroaches. They are disgusting.
Well, they fly too.
Oh, gross.
And also, when I was cleaning up Mum's house, because I just don't care about stuff and put my hands into anything, I put my hand into this whole heap of, I had moved all the pots and everything, put my hand in and picked it up with a saucer, and a funnel web spider came up and ran across. And a funnel web spider is like super big. They're maybe, for the Americans, 2 inches. They're pitch black, and they're pretty dangerous.
They're very bad.
There's now a cure, but they are still...
They'll like give you gangrene.
No, that's the whitetail.
Oh, that's why. Oh.
No, this is more the poison, whereas whitetail's the stuff that's on the saliva.
I got them confused. Sorry, my bad.
And even then, but there was someone else near me who goes, that's a funnel web. And I said, it's all right, won't bite me. They don't eat humans. She says, but you'll end up, and I said, if I poke it with my finger, it'll bite me. So I just moved my hand over towards the bark, and it just jumped. They literally jumped off and in the bark and ran away. Then there was a huntsman, which was like a full-on tarantula size.
I like huntsmen.
And I literally put my hand down, picked it up and moved it so we didn't damage it with the boxes.
There was a guy at the doof who was talking about, I don't know why, we sometimes start talking about spiders. I think someone else that we were camping with was telling us to be careful because the property that we're on is like huge and it's private property, and so a lot of it's untouched. And he's like, there are certain spiders here and you've probably never seen them before. He's like, I'm convinced that they like only live here because it's like pretty untouched land. And I was like, interesting. Anyway, we started talking about spiders, and one of the guys was like, do you know the best way to pick up a huntsman? I'm like, yeah, you don't. Like, you just don't. But he's like, no, I like their home. And apparently, yeah, if he sees a huntsman, he'll just like pick it up and just let him like...
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to pick them up and they just walk around my head, but they'd lay a web at the same time. It's like a hairnet.
Gross. No, I like them though, as long as they stay in their lane. But I don't mind having one in the house because they eat everything else. They eat the mozzies and everything. They get rid of
the bugs. If they don't eat them, I know that whenever we've got 1 or 2 huntsmans in the house, we never have mosquitoes.
Yeah, so that's why I like them, because they'll keep the mozzies away, so they're good, and they're also not dangerous. It's just as long as they stay in their lane. Like, if I can see them and they can see me, then we're good. We can coexist.
Well, see, I grew up in an era where girls used to have huntsmen in their bathers.
Oh my God, mate.
Well, the huntsman legs would always hang out of their bathers back in it. It was full waxing. So I'm used to huntsmen. I grew up in that era.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Someone just spat their breakfast. That's good.
It was something else.
Then a bit later on, I was got up in Mum's attic. They got an attic. Yeah, it's getting warm in here now.
It is getting warm in here.
Like cans. Can't put the air conditioning on.
It's like a sauna.
Noisy. and there was a couple of snake skins up in their attic. They're only about 3 metre long snake skins.
Oh, like the skin off a snake.
Yeah, so they got in there and shred the skin in their attic.
I was like, what's a snake skin? And then I was like, oh. Well, we were talking about spiders, and I was like, is that a name of a spider? And I was like, oh no, actually it's the skin off a snake.
But then I went up because Mum's place backed into a tropical rainforest, so I didn't have to go in there very far to see a couple of big tree pythons in the trees. But see, they come down close. I'll take dogs and small, like Mum's dog was mostly a fraction big for this, but
I'd take Bella.
I'd take Bella, yeah. Bella would be just a
little snack.
Snack, yeah. They'd come back looking for, right, that was entree.
Little appetizer.
But they eat the tree frogs at night. So then all the tree frogs start going crazy. They message each other. There's a snake coming. And then
Wild.
the geckos I got up to the toilet like 2 or 3 in the morning. And Mum's house is a big open plan, so it's a very big open plan house. It's got a couple of bedrooms down one end, but the rest of the house was fully open. So I walked into the spare toilet because I wasn't going to use her ensuite and walk past Mum in bed and go there. And so I walked out, and
she sleeps in the nude.
as I'm walking down, something didn't look right when I turned on the toilet. So the toilet light, I just saw the floor moving with roaches.
Gross.
It was only one of the doors wasn't shut properly, and they all decided to come in. And
Come in, so yuck.
well, I think they were getting away from the tree frogs, who were getting away from the pythons.
The
And the
circle
spiders
of
were just
life.
sitting there eating everything that came through. But yeah,
Crazy.
no, anybody who lives in the tropics, you can have it.
You can have it. Yeah, I must admit I prefer dry heat rather than humidity, which is why I live in Melbourne, where we have dry heat.
Well, just a mess of it. Like, so much stuff that would have been really cool was destroyed by the humidity.
Yeah.
Like, none of Dad's camera gear. I didn't know he even had any, and I found 2 boxes. It's completely corroded out.
That's a shame.
It wasn't that good. No, Dad never went
Yeah,
high
but
end,
still,
but
like, just to have that.
I would have loved. He didn't have his old Minolta, which I used to steal. He still had
Like, that'd be really cool
half
to
a Met's flash that had already been eaten because he left the batteries in it. So over 20 years of corrosion had eaten.
But see, that would have just been cool for you to have, because that's what you tell people. Like, that's how you started photography, was stealing your dad's Minolta and shooting bands. So even just having that as, if, like, you know what I mean? So that kind of sucks. That would have been really cool. Yeah. No, 1 sec.
Why don't you stick it to your shirt? Flip it around the other way.
I can do that.
Your shirt won't sweat.
I could do that.
What the? Oh, that's clever.
That's clever. There we go. It's fixed now. Sorry, my sweaty skin doesn't like the tape for my microphone.
Your cleavage waterfall. Well, it does. Have you noticed? Do you ever get the cleavage waterfall?
Yes, and I used to think it was a myth because
it's a real thing.
No, because I used to be like
flat
as a board.
You just
and
had
I
the
was like,
sheeting.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, what's this boob sweat everyone talks about? Because I had nothing. And then I get put to sleep and I woke up a real girl and
No, you didn't. You woke up plastic. In fact, the size of you, there'd be more plastic in you than actually skin and human flesh.
Remember the day I got them done, Casey, my mate, posted us. It comes up once a year in Facebook memory. She's like, congratulations to Bec, who became a woman today. Thanks, guys. But you know, and then I started I went through summer and I was like, oh, it's a real thing.
What's this river that's running down to my belly button?
I'm used to this. This is disgusting. I find it's the place a fake tan always comes off first because it gets always. I always have this little white patch in the middle. In the valley.
One of my friends, when I was back about 15, she was very large for her size. I'll never forget, if she wore a bikini top or a bra and a T-shirt, there'd always be a wet line from between her boobs downwards.
Horrible.
Whenever it was a really hot day, it was...
It's horrible.
Horribles. Anyway, the subjects we talk about.
I know. I was talking about, I think when we were at the North, I was like, boob sweat is real. I was like, oh, God. When I looked at the guys, I was like, you guys are lucky you didn't have to deal with it. And then one of them was like, we have to deal with another kind of sweat.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's change the topic now. I don't want to talk about that.
You don't want to talk about sweaty balls. What's wrong with sweaty balls?
Oh, God, steamed dim sims.
The steamed dim sims, yeah. So, do they have dim sims in America?
I don't know. No, apparently dim sims are Australian.
Yeah, they are. They're Ballarat.
Yeah.
But there's also, I was watching a
They're
cooking
kind of like dumplings.
Yeah, I was watching a cooking show, and there is a Japanese thing which is a bit similar. It's pork and prawns, and they only do half the dim.
Gyozas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like half. But yeah, the dim sim is, well, they claimed it's Australian, and it's just basically this sweaty ball that you deep fry or steam and then eat.
You get deep fried ones from the fish and chip shops. I think Jared gets the steamed ones, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? I don't like them regardless.
In the microwave I'll steam them, and if I get them for fish and chip shop, they're so close to a Chico roll. Come on.
That's the flavours. I don't like. See, at first I thought it was the texture because I'm a real weird texture person. Like I don't like mushrooms. Well, actually, no, I've decided I don't like the taste. But at first I thought it was the texture of mushrooms. It's like slimy, but then they kind of taste like dirt. So it's not for me.
Mushrooms aren't slimy.
I don't like slimy. So I don't like oysters. I love seafood. Can't do with oysters because of the texture.
Mussels?
But mussels have that kind of bite, whereas oysters are
If you cook an oyster, it's the same.
I think I like Kilpatrick.
Yeah, they're cooked.
Yeah, I think I like those. But it's just the natural ones. Yuck. I can't deal with the texture of those. But yeah, so I thought I didn't like dim sims because of the texture. Same with dumplings as well. I'm the same. I don't like the texture. So Jared did the Japanese ones and he pan fried them. And then I actually don't mind those ones, but I think he did dumplings. I think I had like a fried dumpling and I was like, that's the flavour.
You're just so
fussy
and picky.
Yeah.
Both.
Although I hate telling people that because I get so angry at Peter if we're somewhere, like if we're with a client or anything, and they're like, oh, we'll get some lunch. Is there anything anyone doesn't eat? Peter's like, she's really fussy. I'm like, and then everyone starts pandering to me. They're like, oh, well, what do you want?
Are really fussy.
Yeah, but I can always find something I'll eat from a menu.
China.
Pringles.
They're not on a menu.
Rice.
Go into was it the first meal?
Yeah. Oh no, the first meal we went and we had, it was like a whole fish and I was like, I don't like seeing its face, please. And you had to like dissect it. I was like, can you please just give me a fillet of fish? I remember that, was it
the second meal?
And then it was the second one that we went out and...
Our host didn't speak much English and we thought we got through to her that we'll just pick what we would like to eat.
And she's like,
No. She ordered. So the first thing was soup with
chicken
feet sticking out of the top of it. The second one was deep fried dove.
No, pigeon. This thing comes out and it was a full bird on it was just a full bird on a plate. Like it had a face, it had a beak. It was a full-on bird, just crispy. And I was like,
the third thing was a whole deep fried fish.
Yeah, again.
With a head, and you can't do the head thing.
I can't look at it. And they put it down and of course, how do they position it? They put it on the table with its face looking directly at me and it's got its teeth and everything. I'm like, I might take this half a bottle of wine and go to my room where I've got a can of Pringles. I will see you for work in the morning. I do not mean to be rude, but I have lost my appetite over the chicken feet and the whole fried pigeon on my plate. Oh, that is too much for me. Who's eating pigeon? That's
Pigeon's
wild.
a delicacy, I think. I eat lots of birds. Well, quails are only like this big.
I've never had
And there's normally more lead in them from when they've been shot with a shotgun, so you've got to pick out the bits of lead.
Chicken breast for me. Only chicken breast.
It's not real chicken.
Yes, it is. It's
No,
their
they
titties.
fake it. Sorry, I ate a schnitzel in cans, and it was the size of a dinner plate, and it was as fat as for Americans 2 inches, or for Australians 50 mil.
But they give them hormones.
Chickens do not grow that big.
They bash it out.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
man-made meat.
Oh well, I don't care. I like it.
I like it.
I don't mind man-made. I like that chicken roll stuff you get from the deli. Oh no, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to know what's in it, but I like the taste of it.
Yeah, you like some of those chicken nuggets, which that's not chicken.
That's not chicken. That's all right. I don't need to know what's in it. It tastes good and it's...
And Jared likes the calamari.
That's not calamari.
It's fish scraps. Although I did explain to him the calamari he hates is just because they didn't peel it properly.
Oh.
So
that rubber band thing?
Rubber band, yeah, that's the skin. It's
you're
not the easiest to take off. Although, if anyone who's a calamari fisherman, all you do is get one of those old onion bags, the plastic, orange plastic onion bags. You throw all your calamari into that.
Like the netted ones?
The net,
yeah.
Throw your calamari in there.
And it comes up?
and you tie it to a rope, throw it behind the boat, drive back to your boat ramp. As long as it's a good 10, 15 minutes, the skin's taken off cleanly, beautifully.
I wonder what the analytics of calamari fishermen who listen to our podcasts are.
I don't know if anyone in America even knows what calamari is.
People that listen to us that aren't just in America.
Right, I don't think people in... Calamari is a certain type of squid. They're called calamari squid. Oh. We have arrowhead squid. Although a lot of the calamari in Melbourne is really arrowhead squid because they're much more common.
It's tasty. That's what I know it is.
Calamari is just a squid that's cut. It's delish. Normally, most places sell it in circles because calamari is like this cone tube and they just chop it this way. But you need to skin it first, otherwise you get these like rubber band bits in the middle.
It is delish. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Salt and pepper calamari.
Oh, salt and pepper calamari. I went to a pub on Saturday for a friend's birthday and they didn't have salt and pepper calamari on the menu. I was like, this is un-Australian to not have salt and pepper calamari on a pub menu.
Well, I went to a pub in Cairns and ordered a dozen oysters. And it came out with a shucking knife. You had to crack them open yourself with a glove.
It's a bit agricultural.
No, they wanted to prove how fresh they were. It was a bit novel because I knew how to do it.
Yeah.
But so many people have no idea how to do it. You've got to go in near the back joint and muscle. But I thought, and they were really fresh. That was so nice.
Well, yeah, you had to crack it open yourself.
I know, it was pretty cool.
Fresh you can get than that.
I was pretty happy with that.
Jared got fish and chips. They did have fish and chips at the pub, so that's a little bit Australian. Well, it's British, isn't it? But we're all kind of British anyway. So.
Yeah, but we don't serve them anymore in newspaper.
No.
Although I can remember buying fish and chips wrapped in newspaper.
I never have.
It was a thing.
I haven't had dirty fish and chips in a while. I need to have that. It's summer. Summer's the only time I eat fish.
So you're going to explain what's a dirty fish and chips?
Dirty fish and chips is like a fish and chip shop. And it normally gets wrapped. No, it's not actual
do they have
paper.
fish and chip shops in America?
So it's like, how do I explain
All right, I'll give you the analytics. At the moment, American people listening to our podcast is about 3 times more than Australian people.
Okay, right. So a fish and chip shop, it's like, there normally be like a row from them will probably be like,
a row of probably be like...
No,
I'm
trying to explain, like, so it'll be, like, you might have, like, a newsagent's, a post office, then, you might have, like, your fish and chip shop. It'll just be, like, your local little stripper shops and...
Stripper shops.
A strip of shops.
With like stripper shops.
A strip of shops.
Stripper shops. Everyone's going to go into stripper bars and go, tell us some fish and chips. And they're going to get a different from what they're expecting to get.
There will be a strip of shops and one of them will be a fish and chip place and they'll just have, like... all these like deep frying things and they'll have like a grill and they've got like the menu.
Grill, a hot plate.
And then they've got like a big board with their menu up the top.
And all fans above the...
And they'll have a little fridge area where you can see the seafood they've got in there and then they've got a little thing that's got the heating lamps. It's where they keep your food warm and you go in there and normally people get like beer battered flake. And so flakes...
You go battered or you can have
You can have battered or grilled, but people normally get battered flake. That's a goodie. Or you can get a fish and chip shop burger is normally pretty good.
And they're normally pretty good. But an Aussie one normally has pineapple and beetroot.
Pineapple and beetroot and
an egg.
Yeah. So, so it'll just be like patty, cheese, bacon, egg, lettuce, pineapple, beetroot, tomato sauce, and that's it in a white bun. Oh, they're good. And you get chips, and the chips always have really nice chicken salt on it.
They're normally triple fried.
The fact that Americans don't have chicken salt is like...
Oh, yeah, the chicken salt.
Oh, it's the most heartbreaking thing ever.
I can't believe that for American taste buds, somebody if an Australian fish and chip shop with a proper souvlaki bar as well, how sick would that go in America? You'd actually make trillions.
Guys would love it. No, but chicken salt, it's just like...
Chicken salt. So what they do, they get chickens, they make them sweat, they collect the sweat, they dehydrate it, and there's the salt left.
It's kind of like, actually, I think I know the best way to describe it. It's like the seasoning of like that you'd put into like packet chicken noodles, like chicken ramen noodles.
A little bit, but it's kind of
like
saltier.
That, but it's a bit saltier, and we put that on our chips, and it's a really nice seasoning on chips. So we have that. We have potato cakes.
potato cakes, which is like a scallop of potato dipped in batter and then deep fried and then covered in chicken salt.
I found a TikTok the other day. The girl's done a bunch of them. So I guess she's got this boyfriend who's American and she's flown him out to Australia over Christmas and she's made these series of TikToks of him trying Australian food.
Well, fish and chips isn't Australian.
Well, no, it wasn't. But,
it's English.
No, I know, but the potato cake. So she gave him a potato cake and he took a bite and was like, it's a potato. Like, it was so good. Because it just looks like this round battered
flat disc.
Flat round battered disc, and she was like, potato cake, and he's like, what? And he took a bite.
It's really
good.
like a mashed potato inside. It's a little bit firm. There's a bite through.
Anyone from Queensland is going to say they're potato scallops.
No, potato cakes.
Potato cakes. And it's Parma, not palmy. I'm just throwing that out.
Oh yeah, everyone had palmies on the.
It is.
And you could have a Mexican palmy. You could have Italian palmy.
It's Parma. Me and my dad have this fight all the time.
Back on the fish and chips, you forgot a couple of the most important.
Chico rolls.
Chico rolls. So you need, all right, so Beck this time is going to put something in my phone so when I do the editing,
can I have your phone?
I can put in the links because now I have to do all the work. I have to do all the writing for them.
I can do it. You just do it when I'm not around. You say I don't do anything.
Because you're on holidays.
Yes, but then you tell me I don't do anything, but then you do things that I'm not around.
Anyway, sure, we'll put a link to Chico rolls, Chiquitos.
What's Chiquitos are lollies.
No, there's two different Chico rolls.
What?
Yeah, there's two different types. Oh, Australians, come and jump on board, give me a message. I need it.
Chiquitos.
No, a Chiquito is like a Chico roll, but slightly different. I think it's got a little bit more, it's got like a mustardy taste.
Okay.
Oh, not mustardy, curry.
I am.
There's two different ones. There's a Chico roll and another roll. It looks the same from the outside, but the inside's different.
We also do battered crab sticks.
Oh, that's a new thing.
No, it's not. Oh, and battered sausages?
No, yeah, but that's still a newer thing. So when I grew up, we had our dim sims fried or steamed.
Yeah.
With our fish and chips, battered or good, and the chips were always triple fried. Potato cakes or potato scallops, deep fried scallops.
Oh yeah.
Scallops in batter, deep fried.
Basically, everything's deep fried. This is why it's dirty because everything is deep fried. But
then they started on deep fried Mars bars.
That's an American thing.
Is it? I thought. And then they have deep fried ice cream.
I don't think it gets more. Yeah, I don't think either. Like. That sounds really American, a deep fried Mars bar. Surely that's American. Surely.
You have to look it up, but there is some of the fish and chip shops have deep fried Mars bars, and the Cantonese restaurant in Ringwood. Bruce Lee, believe it or not, he was adopted. He was lost.
It was Peter's boss, not actual kung fu fighting.
Yeah, it's my first boss. I used to clean dishes in a Cantonese restaurant on a Friday and Sunday night, so I normally play in bands on Saturday night. This is like when I was 15. And Bruce, they found him.
Wait, where?
I don't know, but he had no parents. Nobody knew who he was. They had no idea. Found him in Australia. Nobody knew who he was.
That's so random.
They think he came with. They think he got lost and ended up on a plane or a boat or something. And ended up in Australia. They just found him. So they tried. So they let him call himself. When he was about 5 years old, he could name himself, and he called himself Bruce Lee.
That's so cute.
And then when he was 22, he married the most beautiful blonde Aussie. So there's this little Chinaman who was bow-legged with this beautiful Aussie. He's the nicest guy in the world. So funny. He
called himself Bruce Lee. It's pretty iconic.
And he ran a Cantonese restaurant, and halfway through the night, he would crack a bottle of stout. And that was his favourite drink, stout. So everything was... But he said he was the one who invented fried ice cream. I tend to believe him because when I saw... And this is back in the early 70s. He had lots of problems. He realised if you mixed the coconut into the ice cream when he froze it, it wouldn't melt enough with the batter around and it would create this frozen ball. So a gorgeous brown ball, but the insides didn't just...
Split out.
And then the fish and chip shops got onto the frozen ice cream balls.
I can't believe how long we've spoken about fish and chip shops for.
Well, it's a big part of my life. Like, if you're in a wealthy family, you got to have fish and chips or pizza on Friday nights. that was the thing you'd look forward to. You put up with all your shit cooking from your parents. You have to eat broccoli and all these other things that they said you hadn't need to eat. But you knew Friday was coming along. It was fish and chips or pizza.
Actually, I feel like that was kind of me growing up. I always had, but Friday, I guess that's where me and Jared get it from. Like Friday night is always our takeaway night. And I think it's because I get that from growing up. It was always takeaway night.
But, hold on, stop. But can you remember nearly all meals when you were growing up were always cooked at home? There's no takeaway shit. There's no frozen shit.
I loved fish fingers.
You forced your mum to change her diet to your taste.
Oh, yeah. I had a different dinner to my parents most night because I was fussy.
So when I grew up, it was that back in the days, if you didn't eat everything, you didn't leave the table.
Yeah, no, I was.
Right, and it's just, sorry, I'm not that hungry tonight. You're eating everything, some poor starving kid in Ethiopia. I said, well, if I don't eat it, can you send it to them? And my sister hated carrots and like cooked carrots. She'd eat raw and refused to eat cooked. It's a bit like you and your tomatoes. And I remember this hissy fit, and by 8 o'clock, which was really late back in those days.
Back in Morno.
Dad gave up and Mum was in tears and said, "You'd let her leave the table. She's going to wet her pants." So from that day on, they never dished her up cooked carrot.
Well, that's nice.
But we never ever had frozen food. We never had takeaway except for a Friday night. But that was just especially, this is back in the 60s, 70s. It was just, and if you look at I saw this amazing picture on Twitter. And it was a picture of a beach scene in Melbourne back in 1963. And it said, "Find the obese person." You couldn't. There was nobody on your beach that you would have said was obese. Oh. Because they had signs that banned obese people no. No, but what I mean is that's when everyone had to cook their meals every day. But the more and more you could just get takeaway, Uber Eats and all that shit.
Well, I'm kind of off Uber Eats at the moment, so I know we need to finish up.
Completely forever.
No, because I'm getting peed off at them.
They eat your Ubers before they eat you.
Well, no, it's normally cold. Actually, I had an Uber Eats stolen. It's a story for another time. It was really funny though. Well, it wasn't funny. It kind of sucked, but it is funny that it happened. Anyways, I was looking on there just to see what was in my area to decide what I wanted, and I was like, damn, that got expensive. Went to the restaurant's website. Uber have jacked up the price on Uber Eats. They've got they're charging an extra few dollars. Then you get charged, the delivery fees for the driver, but then Uber charge you a service fee. And all of a sudden, it's like...
Yeah, they're servicing you.
It's like Airbnb. Like there's all these extra fees. I'm like, so I just use it to look what's around, and then I will call a restaurant directly, or I'll just go directly there. And so I'm just giving them my money.
They've all got really greedy. I know my sister and I quickly looked into Airbnb Mum's place, which is in a really good place, like swimming pool, tropical rainforest, up in Cairns. People could eat, tourists that fly in would
love it.
And then we saw all their, so the cleaning charge, they charge the owner as well for the cleaning, even though they don't book the bull. They got these add-ons everywhere in the background, which they're charging the owner of the. No wonder their fees have gone up ridiculous.
It's also dumb.
Anyways.
I think it's actually cheaper to eat at home now than it is to eat takeout.
I think it's nicer to eat at home than eat at
Actually, no. Sorry, that's incorrect. I meant to say it the other way around. I think sometimes it's cheaper to get takeout than it is to eat at home. No, sometimes, I think I went to make burgers or something, and the amount of money it cost me to get stuff to make homemade burgers.
Yeah, but if you buy a burger, you're only getting one piece of lettuce. If you're doing it at home, you have to buy a whole lettuce.
And then I'm not going to probably use it for the rest of the week.
Or buy half lettuce. Or buy the bag of shredded lettuce.
That's not as good. Anyway, we're getting off topic. We need to stop. Sorry. Anyways.
You're just trying to get out of cooking.
No, I love cooking. I do. I love cooking. I've made really nice meals this week.
Good. Anyways. She's raving on. This is officially 2023.
It's officially, I know you guys listened to last week's, but we
had to pre-record it because I wasn't even in. I was in a different country than Bec. I was in Cairns. We're back. We've got an exciting year planned. I get to get rid of Bec. I get a whole new direction.
Yeah. No, I've got to get my A into G and
AMGs. You're still on about getting an AMG. This year,
I've got to get
my of the AMG, isn't it?
No, it was meant to be last year. But...
Was it?
Yeah.
I thought we decided that you couldn't buy a new car last year, so what's the use of getting a car?
I don't know. Anyways, we have an exciting year planned. So probably in the next week,
What? I don't know what you're going to say.
Europe
Don't look at me.
workshops will be up.
Well, it's up to you to do your job.
So I'm probably going to put that up in the next week. Maybe
Week or 2 weeks. I
maybe 2
reckon
weeks.
we've got a bit of work to do. 2 weeks, that'll be up. Everyone who's asking about American work, we're definitely coming to America. It'll be in the fall, but
because the leaves fall down.
Because we've got a lot of work to do, so we can't give you dates. We've got to find out when Dead Mouse is playing and when
if we're going to go to Burning Man.
And Burning Man and...
I have to apply for that. So we've got a lot of things to work out in the meantime. But once we work out our personal lives, we'll then work the workshops around that. And I'll let you guys know. But Europe dates will be out very soon. We're going to do that. We're going to be doing what Peter wants.
We've got Sydney and Brisbane dates are up already, so jump on to that.
If you want to come see us.
Spire's
got some fun shit coming up.
Some really cool stuff. But we put some really cool stuff up over Christmas too. So if you're not on it, and you can have a look. But Volley's starting to move again. So Volley's a part of Inspire where you can actually talk with me for nothing.
And I chime in sometimes. Yeah, hi guys.
Sometimes.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
And yes.
We're now salespeople.
I know we are. And then we're also just going to have a sick year.
I'm going to do more of my stuff this year.
Doing Peter stuff. And I'll sit in the background, drink wine. No, I will help. I always help. I'm going to develop film and I'm going to video edit. And I'm going to be
Aren't you going to edit video?
That's what I said, video edit.
No, edit video.
Same thing.
You don't go photo edit. You edit photos. You don't photo edit.
Why not?
Take photos of editing.
No, like you
photo edit.
You're doing photo editing.
Video
editing.
No, edit videos.
But,
if everyone look, anybody in YouTube land, if you watch, you'll see your whole head goes in and out. What were the Green Martians in that movie? Oh, the movie. Oh, the amazing movie that they took over Hollywood.
I don't know.
Oh, Martians Attack.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you've got to see it.
From back in your day.
Anybody who's seen it, you'd know. It's really funny. Her head just moved like the Martian heads go in and out. They kill them with this opera singer and the heads explode.
Wild.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's called Martians Attack. It's on your head. You need to put this on your watch list.
I will.
You need to put a link.
Anyway. We're talking for too long.
Shmia. It's getting too hot up here.
It is.